Okay, there's the cut board. 135 slices. A little over 36 inches. To be a matter of fact, in 36 3/4 inches, I got 135 of these. So that comes out 0.272222 per slat. So next what I'll do is I'll iron the oak veneer on here, and then we'll set up the bandsaw and we'll set these free. Then we'll cut the 10 3/4 inch ring. Start off a little big and we'll nudge it down little by little until we get it to fit. Okay, the slats are cut, 135 of them. So now I'll turn a 10 3/4 inch circle to wrap these around, and we'll size it up. Okay, there we have it. When I made this ring, I put this around here, I measured, marked it, and you know it came out 125 pieces. So I kept turning this down. I cut this off at 124, and I kept cutting this down slowly but surely until it met over here. And I hold it together with a little piece of tape, and I have a gum band on it. So the next thing to do is this goes on here like so. To get it exactly right, I guess what I'm going to do is put it this way, put this on here, get it lined up, and put little pine blocks out here so that once this won't get glued this direction, or the glue will run down into cracks. So once I have those little blocks in place, then I can flip this over, glue it, and put it in the ring clamp. So to help me with this alignment, I took little sticks. There's 62 slats on this side, 62 slats on this side. This is the center line. And on here, I glued a little stick down in here. It's glued to here, not to here. So I can take that out. I have one on this side. That aligns me this way. And I hot glued these little blocks on here to help me put it back. So next, we will put it in the, put glue on it, put it in the glue clamp, and leave it, that will probably leave dry several hours, because I'm going to put a lot of strain on that, and I want to make sure the glue is absolutely dry. So that's, when I get it all glued up and in the clamp, I'll give you a shot of that. Okay, the slats is glued onto that ring. Now what we'll do is we'll split it where I put the paper in. We'll put it on the bandsaw and we'll cut this 45-degree angle on the inside. Then the last ring gets glued on. And then we'll glue the whole section to the bottom of the bowl that we have completed so far and finish the bowl. I'll cut the outside edge off too. When I do that, I'll cut this angle off. So we're going to leave this dry though till tomorrow, and then we'll split it and we'll cut that angle. Okay, I removed the gum band. I knocked off the little sticks that we had sticking down in between here. Took the putty knife, struck it once, and split it open. So now, what I'll do is I'll take this over to the bandsaw. I'll cut this excess off on the inside of the bowl. That's the big problem. Cut this excess off, and then we'll glue this back together. Sand this paper off, glue this back together, turn it over, and put the top ring on. I'll pick it up there. ring 6 and 7 and ring 8. Now when they dry, we'll mount this to the top of this one. Or I may mount this to the bowl and then mount that. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. But we'll pick it up at that point. There's ring 8, glued to 6 and 7. I put these little strips in here to help me line it up with the crack. So we'll leave that dry overnight. And then tomorrow we'll put it in a bandsaw and we'll cut this off. We'll cut from this 45 to this 45, cut the majority of this off. And then we won't have to turn that off in the lathe. So this is the first 5 rings of the bowl. The outside is still in the rough state. I have the inside turned rough so we don't have to reach quite so deep. And this is the top section that's going to go on here. All's left for us to do is to cut this edge off on the bandsaw. Now I'm not going to be able to get a video of that because of the way the table tilts up at an angle, and this has to be turned this way, so you're not actually going to be able to see the saw cut. So I probably won't be able to show that. But as soon as I get that cut off, then we'll put these two together in the ring clamp, and then we'll leave it dry till tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll put it back in the lathe and we'll finish turning it. Okay, I have that cut off now, inside and out, so there's no big piece sticking out here. Give it a lot of leverage to snap it off. So the next thing I'll do is I'll line this up, make some alignment marks, and we'll glue it up. And since this is the final glue job, I'm going to sand this bottom. I'll resand this, make sure this is true, and we'll glue it together and we'll leave it set till tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll finish turning the bowl. There's the completed bowl in the ring clamp. We'll leave that clamped for an hour or so. Then I will release the pressure and put it back in the lathe, but we'll leave it dry till tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll finish turning the bowl, see how it turns out. Well, as you can see, we have just about reached the capacity of the lathe. So I'll proceed to see if we can turn such a thing. The inside of the bowl has been turned. Now we'll try to turn the outside without breaking it. There's the outside of the turn bowl. Now all that's left to do is to sand it and put some sanding sealer on it and a finish. Okay, that's the first coat of sanding sealer. I used the pipe cleaner to put sanding sealer in between each slat. The bowl is a little over 14.5 inches in diameter. I could have got 14 3/4, but I'd have had too sharp of an edge out here, so I turned that down. So we'll leave that dry, and then I'll put several more coats of sanding sealer on, sanding in between, and then I'll put wipe-on polyurethane. And the next thing I'll probably show is taking the bottom off. The bowl's finished. It has 3 coats of sanding sealer and 3 coats of wipe-on polyurethane. Now next I'm going to cut right here. There is no paper in between these. I didn't feel safe putting paper in something that's 15 inches in diameter. There's too much torque out here. So there's no paper. This is glued directly to the waste block. So we're going to make a groove here, cut it down to about 1/2 inch or so, and then we'll finish it off with the handsaw. And just to make sure it doesn't get away from me, I'm holding it with the tailstock and a piece of rag. So I'm going to cut that off, and then we will put it in the cold jaws. There's a shot of the bottom of the bowl before we turn it. There's the finished bowl. Been signed. Oak is my least favorite wood to work with. It really just doesn't look that nice. It has a total of 182 pieces. There's 124 slats. It is 14.5 inches in diameter, and it stands 5¼ inches tall. So once again, I'd like to thank you for watching.